And there we are. All right. I was looking like, am I on? Am I live? All right. I just got my notification that I'm live. Look at that. Hopefully, other people got their notification as well. Ah, all right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope you all are doing well. Hope you guys are having a good day. I had a very busy day. Very, very busy day. I will explain here in a minute, but anyway, so very good to see everybody. We got Bobby Farron is here. Janet's in the house. Carol Prince, Delbert Jones. Let's see. Zaven Trucker, Seaside, Jeannie Hiker. A lot of names I'm not recognizing, but glad to have you guys here. Dell from Ohio is here. Our Life Off Grid, The Garden Life. All right, good to see everybody. Well, before we jump into anything, I would just like to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. Uh, so just if you can't abide by those simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up with blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we're not going to tolerate it. If you see anybody in here being a jerk, please do not engage with them. Let my moderators deal with them. There's always going to be somebody who wants to play little games, so that's their job to take the trash out, if you will. All right, so all right. So anyway, YouTube still having server issues? I have no idea. Are they? Hopefully not. Hopefully they're not. We will see. But prepping survival. I see prepping survivals here. Yeah. Okay. Well, we shall see what happens. Some of the usernames are still messed up from your end. DJ is saying. Okay. YouTube blocks me as Nostradamus this week. Ah. Did I get a new camera? It's the newer one that I bought recently. I've been using this camera how long now? I think maybe a couple of months. I'm not 100% sure. My other camera, no, stop. My why every time? What is wrong with you? You're fine. No, we were all just asleep. Just so you guys know, every one of us here in the camper, me and the cats and Hella. Actually, had both of the cats were in bed with me. I got a nice 35-minute nap in before this live stream started. Um, I got up. Well, first, let me say this: the chicken run is now done. Thank goodness. I'm just like started this morning at 8 o'clock this morning. Steve was helping me, and Johnson was helping me, and so anyway, we got started at 8 o'clock this morning. I'm thinking, oh, it shouldn't take us that long, right? So I knew we got up to the point where today, when we started, once we took the old chicken run completely out of the run, we had to keep going until we were finished. Okay. So I'm thinking, that shouldn't take too long. 5 hours. 5 hours is what it took us today to do what we did. And you're basically out in direct sun for 5 hours. I was gonna, yeah, about the chicken eggs. I know that Mimi had asked a question in the comments, and I figured I'd just address it here. It's the easiest way to address it. The 15 eggs that I found the other day that were behind, he says, "Can you use those eggs? Can you save those eggs?" And I would never take the chance. I'll be honest with you. I gave all those eggs to the dogs. The dogs got those eggs. So you don't want to take a chance because you don't know how long they've been back there, sitting there, who's been laying, So to me, it's like I'm not taking that chance. No way, no how. So the dogs got all those eggs. So they were very happy about that. But what can you feed chickens when there's no animal feed available? Well, seasonally, you can let them free range, and they'll feed themselves. Realistically, um, yeah, there he is. Yep. So I know you would ask that question, so I wanted to address that. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can, seasonally you can let them just free range if it's a SHTF situation. Uh, you can grow wheat or whatever. I mean, there's still all kinds of stuff. Comfrey is something you could feed them as well. So there's, feed them weeds, whatever. You know what I mean? Greens, grass, whatever. There's all kinds of stuff that you can feed them. Chickens leave scraps too. So if you're like cooking and whatever scraps are left over, uh, I'll tell you what. This is what I tell people: chickens are little velociraptors. That's what they are. They will eat anything. You put it in there and they'll eat it. So whenever, like if I'm doing a salad or if I am having celery or radishes or any of that type of stuff, anything that I cut off that's scrap goes in there and it disappears. They eat everything. So, but yeah, it's just that's so yeah, you can if there's no, I mean, if there's feed available, obviously you're gonna want to give them feed. It's just I mean, like Johnson said to me the other day, he goes, man, he goes, those chickens are fat. I go, well, they eat well. They're not missing any meals. So, but oh yeah, they'll eat meat too. Absolutely, they'll eat each other. So, but yeah, they'll even eat a dead chicken. Yes, they will. So, but anyway, so that's but they real super happy. So the whole time that we were, I mean, I had the bucket of feed there for them and stuff like that, but they were so happy just to be going around and checking out their new area. I'm still going to put a tarp on. I'll be doing that as well. So they have an area that's going to be more shaded. So I will be doing that as well. But yeah, they were pretty happy. I didn't try to get out or nothing when we were doing that whole thing, but it was a lot of work. I was very tired when I got done. I'll be honest with you. I'm very, very tired when I got done. But and then of course I had to go out. I didn't have to, but I went out. I was gonna go do laundry, and the laundromat that I like to go to. This laundromat that I go to, other laundromats, every other laundromat that I've gone to, you do your wash cycle. Your wash cycle is going to be what it's going to be. It's going to take for whatever amount of time. The dryer in the laundromat that I like to go to, your clothes are dry in 20 minutes. Okay. I mean, they're dry in 20 minutes. So we had gone to that laundromat and it was packed. So I'm like, yeah, Monday. I'll go do laundry Monday. And I won't even try to go on a weekend. It'll be just too busy. So I was just like, well, I'll just wait till Monday and I'll go do laundry on Monday. But yeah, it was. So I'm like, I went to the grocery store and actually I did a partial group shop. And I'll do a video on what I got there. And it was just, we're just continuing to get stocked up. That's what we're doing. I have other projects here now that part. I mean, I still got to button up a couple things with the chicken run, but other than that, it's essentially done. I mean, it's essentially done. So the chickens are out in the new run. The old run is gone, and they're good to go. So really, like I said, that was a very large, time-consuming project that took way longer than I thought it was going to take. Yeah, it was just not fun. It was just not fun. But anyway, that's knocked out. That's out of the way. So I'm really happy about that part of it. So we'll just continue on and go on to the next thing. I think what I'm going to work on next is getting the doghouse done. Like I'm going to get out tomorrow and I'm going to fire around with some more stuff with a chicken run, but then I want to get going on the doghouse because it really needs to get rocked out. And I will utilize pallets with that. I have that 3/4 inch plywood that I'm going to use as a roof. So we'll see. We'll get it all going. But yep, we got the cover over the top finished too. Yep, that's all done. Like I said, I knew as soon as we took the old run out, we had to keep going until that was done because I want to keep the chickens safe. I want to keep them protected. So, but yeah. So for everybody, it was like, wow, when are you going to get the chicken run done? Wow. And hey, listen, and I'm going to be real quick too. I am not a carpenter. I make no claims of ever being a carpenter. So if you don't like the way that I did chicken run and you think you can do it better, come on down here and do it better. I don't care. It's functional. It's going to work. It has a purpose, and that's what I care about. So I just it needed to get done. They got like 3 times as much room now as they did before. So I mean, they were really happy. They were really happy. So all right. So let's get into this. What do we got? We got 187 in the chat. We have 72 thumbs up. If you've not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It really makes a huge difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better for the channel. That's why I asked for the thumbs up. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. I tried to build a shelf one time. My wife asked me what it was. Oh my God, that's too fun. Hey, I look like this. At least I'm out there trying to do something. You know, if I was a carpenter, that'd be great and it would be perfect. But I'm not a carpenter, so I'm doing the very best that I can. And that's it. So, but it works. It ain't pretty, but it works. Went to town today and bought more supplies. You got to get them, people. Yes, absolutely, Mary. You're 100% right. You are 100%. So I want to get into what obviously the topic of this live stream is going to be. It's way worse than we're thinking. Come on, Hella, please, for the love of God, stop. No, my patience is not really good right now. I'm overtired. Like I said, it's been a long day, and then I went out and did grocery shopping on top of everything else, and it's just been a very long day. But anyhow, so things are way worse than we think. You look at, and we're going to use Venezuela as an example. We're blowing ships out of the water, or boats, right? Blowing boats out of the water. And we're saying, our government is saying, oh, they're drug boats. They're drug boats. That's what we're doing. We're blowing up these drug boats. Okay. Now, is that true? I have no idea. But all of a sudden, Maduro in Venezuela have become. Oh, and there was a sub. Yeah, the subs. I think they just did a sub as well. Yep. All of a sudden now, Maduro is the new boogeyman. He's been in charge for a while down there, and we've put sanctions on them and try to hurt them economically and stuff like that. And then you get China and I think Russia as well, maybe helping them to some degree, but they have become our target. And just the other day, we flew B-52 bombers, like really close. We have a lot of troops in the area. There is a lot of helicopters and a lot of other things going on in that area right now. And, if somebody had said, somebody had asked me, what do you think? Are we going to go to war with Venezuela? I was like, oh, no way. No way. It's looking more and more like that they're going to be doing some kind of action. It definitely is looking that way. And of course, we'll blame it on the drug trade. Or here's an idea. there's a little country next door to us, two countries next door to us that a lot of drugs come in through. One is Canada, and the other one is Mexico, right? Two huge countries where a lot of drugs are coming through. Why don't we focus on that? I mean, you got all the cartels down there in Mexico, and now they've made the cartels, the evil empire as well. Let's do something about that. Why are we going after Venezuela? Because all of a sudden now our government is telling us these are the bad guys. Here, this is the people that you got to watch out for. The drug trade has been going on forever and a day, and it's not just coming from Venezuela, but they're putting, I call things propaganda when I think that things are propaganda. They're trying to sway public opinion in a certain way. And if you say this guy's a bad guy enough, well, then people go, well, you know what? Yeah, scapegoats. Exactly, JJ. People go, well, he is a bad guy. I'm going to give you an example of something, okay? And this was a true story. There was a little girl, World War II broke out, right? And we weren't involved with it yet. But there was a little girl who was an American that was in Germany when that all broke out, right? And so we hadn't gotten involved in it yet, and they were doing what they were doing, and it took a while for this little girl to get back home. Like, I think it was almost 2 years before she got back home, and she came back over here, and she's seeing all this, Hitler's this, Hitler's that, and blah blah blah. And she was saying to her family, right, this little girl, because where was she? She was in Germany, right? So she was going, Mr. Hitler is a good man, because that's what she was being told there. Every place else was saying something different, but their propaganda was saying something different. So, depending on where you are, it really depends on, well, just even look at the left and the right, right? I mean, look at that in our own country here. This guy over here says everything that this man does is terrible, and this guy over here says, well, everything this guy does is fantastic. I mean, so who's right? You gotta look through all the BS realistically, and you gotta make decisions. You know what I mean? You gotta make decisions. You can't just listen to this and go and make all your judgments based on that. You have to really look at everything that's going on. I talked about silver the other day and gold and the prices of them. And actually, I'm going to look real quick. I know that silver was down today. I talked to one of my guys, but I want to look at gold prices today, see what they did. So give me just 1 second. I'm going to look and see what they're saying gold is at, and I have a point to this, okay? And there, what a thing is too, a lot of times to distract you from this problem or this issue. Okay, so gold was down $36 today, but it's still at $4,267 an ounce. That's insane, okay? That is insane. So why is gold and silver just juggernauting up like they're doing? Why is that, right? You probably think, I'm not 100% sure. I can tell you a real good reason why. The American dollar is being devalued exponentially, right? Fear is a factor, but the reality is you have BRICS. And a lot of you are not paying attention to that, but a lot of countries are getting away from the petrodollar, right? Because we say the dollar is worth XYZ, and these people go, oh, okay. But all of a sudden, now you have these other countries, right? All these other countries are going, we're not going to go on the dollar anymore. We're going to go on the yuan, which would be, China, okay? The problem is if enough people get on board that way and don't go, excuse me, don't go with the petrodollar anymore. Uh, I don't know if you guys, like I said, I watch a lot of different things. If in the last several years, and when I say several years, I'm going to say the last 10 years, I'll give it like 10 years. And again, don't take my word for this, okay? Look it up, do the research. China has been buying gold like you would not believe because they're going to back their dollar with gold. We don't. We back our dollar with nothing except for our military, and because we say this is what it's worth. But enough people are saying, I have had enough. The American dollar is being devalued, folks. Why do you think everything is going up in price? Everything is getting more expensive, right? The only thing back in our dollar is our troops. And if enough countries go, I'm not going with that anymore. What happens to the dollar then? You know, I mean, what happens to it then? So unless you have gold and silver and precious metals, it's just it's just not there. But and like I said, I'm not a big believer in having gold. I've said it a million times, so don't sit there and go, oh, Prepper Nurse One says you should have gold. You can't eat it. All right, it's way too expensive, number one. But unless you are completely flushed and stocked up to the max, right, and have everything that you could possibly have to be ready for a true SHTF situation, and then you want to buy gold and you want to do that, knock yourself out. I would absolutely recommend silver. I've recommended silver for a long time. I don't work with any companies. I'm not saying, oh, I recommend silver and you should buy it through here. I don't tell you none of that crap because I don't believe that. I'm telling you, you should have some silver, okay? But only after you are ready with supplies that you can look at, put your hands on. This is what I have. This is what I have available. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be focusing on, And then once you're good there, then if you want to buy gold, knock yourself out. But remember this, okay? You can't eat it. And when the time comes, if I have something you need, and I'll just give you a good example of this, okay? If I have something that you need and I have it and you don't, you'll pay me anything to get it, anything. And we can go with antibiotics, right? Your child is sick and the child needs antibiotics. And they go, hey, you know what? Through the grapevine, they go, Prepper Nurse One's got antibiotics. And they go, he does? Yep, he sure does. They're going to come and they'll pay me anything I want to get that run of antibiotics to save that loved one's life. So they could have 10 tons of gold. What is that good to me? That ain't going to do me any good, right? I'm going to need something else tangible, a tangible good, something that is barterable, that I can utilize. And other than that, I could care less. I don't care how much gold or silver you got. Because in a true SHTF situation, what's that going to do for you? Really nothing. So, what did you make yourself for dinner tonight? Why would you care? Oh my God, that's actually funny. But anyway, I just, it's really, really important that we continue to pay attention to what is going on. I have been preaching preparedness forever and a day. And, I just get ready, folks. That shoe is going to drop. That shoe is going to drop. Is going to. It's just a matter of time. And when it drops, it ain't going to be pretty. It is not going to be pretty by a long shot because, again, the majority of people are not ready at all. They're not ready at all for anything. And again, we got winter coming up, right? One of my favorite things is to ask people when I talk about preparedness. The very first thing I always ask everybody, I said, let me ask you a question. And they go, okay. I said, if the lights went out tomorrow, and you can take this too, guys. Anybody watching this live stream can say this, answer this question yourselves. If the lights went out tomorrow and we're not coming back on, I go, how ready are you? And I will tell you what, 9 out of 10 people that I talk to, 9 out of 10 people I ask that question to, their answer is always the same: not very ready. So, what are you doing about it? You know what I mean? What are you doing about it? But, like I said, again, one thing that helps the economy, and here's something else to think about: when the economy is not doing well, what is the one thing that has always been good for the economy, folks? What's the one thing that's always been good for the economy? Real simple question. Let me see if you guys if you know what the answer is. There you go. That is the right answer: war. So we keep the people distracted. Now we're at war. We have this enemy. We have to do something about it. We have to stop this bad, bad man, right? So we're going to start a war, which stimulates the economy. It's insane. So that is just insane. Yeah, and here's the thing, and I will tell you this right now: don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? Have stuff stashed, hide stuff. You know, that's another thing. The banks will let you buy their silver coins if they have them. Oh, absolutely. But the thing is, most of the time, you're gonna have to go, you're gonna have to go to like a pawn shop or a silver or gold dealer that does that. If you're gonna be looking to do that type of stuff, that's usually where you're gonna do that. So that's like you can't like if you take a silver dollar and go to the bank. I'll give you this is a great example, right? It's the same thing with gold. You got your gold coin, right? You got your ounce of gold there, beautiful ounce of gold. So you go to the bank and you say, I would like cash for my ounce of gold. They're not doing it. They're not buying it. Okay. They're not trading you for that. You have to go to a dealer that does it. That's where you have to go. Yeah, coin shops are the best. Yeah, and then there's always spot, right? I had bought gold back in the day. I will tell you, and I got rid of it, and I will tell you the reason that I got rid of gold. I wish I kind of had it now because I remember what I bought it for then. But hindsight's 2020. But so I had gone to buy gold. Well, you paid $50 over spot. So what does that mean? If gold was, let's say it was $2,000 an ounce when you went to go buy your gold, you paid $2,050. But the only good thing with that is if you decide down the road you're going to sell that ounce of gold back to the same place that you bought it from, you don't have to pay spot to sell it back because you've already, they have you on record. But you're paying that extra $50 and you're hoping that it goes up. Now, obviously, lately it's just been going up, 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 and up. All right. But, and I don't remember what the spot was on silver. I don't remember. It wasn't nearly as much as it was on gold, obviously, because, silver wasn't that much. But at jewelry stores, okay. Yeah, there you go. I wasn't even thinking of jewelry stores. But, but they'll buy gold and silver as well. But again, like I said, just if you have everything else squared away, and the reality is this, folks, most people do not have everything else squared away. I still think you should have some silver. Okay. I would not recommend buying gold. I won't do it because you could take that $4,200 and you could put it into so many other good things to put you in a so much better situation. Yeah, what goes up can come down just the same. Exactly. It could be devalued big time. So, that's another thing. So Kathleen says 30 to 40 ounces of silver, I think. Yeah. It's just, it just makes more sense. Well, Marsha Hills makes a great point. Seeds. If you haven't got seeds, you're not growing squat. So, do you have your seed bank? Did you buy a seed bank, or have you gone and gotten all kinds of seeds? I have a ton of seeds here, you know, but it's silver is at $50.62 right now. Okay. All right. Yeah, I knew it came down off of the high because it was almost 54 just the other day. But still, it's a huge price, and it should be a huge red flag for people. But people don't look at it that way. They go, "Oh, look at this! This is great. This is going up." It's a red flag, folks. It means the value of the dollar is going down. So it's costing you more. Your dollar's not going as far to get the things that you need. Now, the last I checked, people's paychecks were not following by going up. They're not giving you more money. This is what always killed me, right? You start working for a company. This is an example. So you start working for a company, and you'll get a review in like 3 months or 6 months, right? And then after that, you have usually it's 6 months, and then they have a yearly review. So your 6 months comes up, and you've done a good job, and you've showed up to work, and you've done everything that you're going to do. So they're going to give you a quarter raise, a quarter an hour, right? And then when your yearly review comes up, and then after that, it's yearly. After that, right? Every year, you might get 50 cents, whatever. So, it's just how are we supposed to survive on that when the cost of everything just goes up, 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 and up? I know that, like I said, health insurance is a great example of that. I paid out of pocket for my family, when the kids were little, and I had my wife was with me at the time, and every single year, folks, it was going up 12 to 14%. Well, guess what didn't go up 12 to 14% every year? My paycheck. So, I had to work more and more and more to try to keep my head above water. It was insanity. It was a no-win situation. So, you know, but it's just like I said again. I mean, gas and electric has continued to go up. Hey, RC Kev, we never get post COVID cost of living raises. Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you very much for the statement, and thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. But I'm really surprised at the amount of people that are completely clueless about what's coming. It blows me away too. But here's the thing is, if you have the blinders on, right, and if you're just distracted by what they want you to be distracted on, right? Good example, right? Right now, and I'm going to call this out because I think this guy's a piece of garbage. I thought he was a piece of garbage before, and I'll call it out even more now. I don't know what you think of Britney Spears, okay? I don't know if you like her, you dislike her, whatever the case may be, okay? She has her issues, probably drug related or whatever else the case may be, mental health issues. I don't know. I don't know her personally, so I can't say. She was in a conservatorship for 13 years where her father ran everything and had total control of her money, okay? So her ex-husband, Kevin Federline, who is a piece of garbage, he was a piece of garbage beforehand. He's still a piece of garbage. Nothing has changed. He got custody of the kids because of her issues. So she had to pay him child support. Well, the child support is now done. So I'm just giving you an example of what people are just completely distracted by. So now his child support is done. So he's not getting any more child support. So what does he do? He comes out with a tell-all book about, his time with Britney Spears and what a terrible person she was, and how she, he would find her standing looking at the kids with a knife in her hand. Get out of here. Come on. Anybody believes that piece of garbage? He's just trying to sell books to get money so, he can continue to do what he did. Do you think he used all that child support to help raise his children? I mean, the amount of money he was getting was astronomical, for all those years. It's just, garbage is garbage, folks. And that guy is garbage. So that's just my take on that. And it's not like I could give a crap less about Britney Spears. I don't care. But that is a distraction. So it keeps people focused over here and not on the real things that they should be focusing on. That's what it does. That's what it does. What do we got? 288 in the chat, guys. We got 145 thumbs up. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithms as well. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time for that. All right. I do appreciate that. But now I'm seeing 158. That's what I'm seeing right now. But anyway, you know, the time to be doing, not being distracted by this, that, or the other thing, you know, oh, Taylor Swift's new album came out and some people like it and some people don't. And oh my God, and she's getting married to Travis Kelce. Who cares? What does that have to do? How will any of those things, this is a question, how will any of those things affect you? Right? I recommend Honeybees and Beekeeping, A Year in the Life of Apiary. Dr. Keith is on YouTube, and there's a companion book. Excellent. Yeah, well, we got our bees here. You know, this is our third year. First two were not successful. First year was a total disaster. Last year we had a hive survive, and then we got into where the weather was really, really bad. And that hive was a very strong hive, but they did not make it. So this year we moved the bees from the upper meadow down here to the lower meadow. And I got the foam board insulation, and I'm going to be making, that's, like I said, that on my list of things that I'm going to be doing here. Like I said, that chicken run was like ridiculous, but that's okay. That part is now pretty much squared away. But like I said, just a couple things to button up on that. But as far as the bees, that's not an all-day project. That's a matter of going down, measuring, going, okay, all four of them are about the same. And then we'll just box it in and they'll be ready to go, you know, as far as that goes. I got to pull the one box off in the queen separator. I got to pull that off as well. Hey, Jessica Jackson, thank you very much for becoming a beginning prepper. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. So, but yeah, guys, there's like, people need to focus on what's important. And again, I always sit there and I go, can't people see what's happening? Can't they see what's going on? So I came to Somerville to watch the jumps tomorrow. Hope nothing happens while I'm here. And there's nothing wrong with that. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. So you can't stop living life. That's the one thing I will always tell people. Don't stop living life. Don't stop living life. You have to continue to go on your vacations, continue to have fun. You can't be so narrowly focused that you go, I can't think of anything else except this. Now, I live, eat, and breathe prepping, okay? Anybody that watches the channel knows that that's my whole focus with a lot of things. But this is a lifestyle that I chose and I wanted to do. But that doesn't mean I stop living life. It doesn't mean that I don't do anything else, because I do. You know, so, and you know, if something happens while I'm out of town, right? If I'm on vacation, I also have other options of where I could go, and what I could do. The ultimate goal would be getting back here as quickly as I could. So, you know, you don't know. But again, it's just, you know, and then you got so here's another distraction for everybody, right? Let's talk about another distraction. Government shutdown, right? No end in sight. They're not coming together. And everybody was talking about now. So, of course, they had their first No Kings rally. And I just saw, I keep seeing the millions of people will be showing up for these No Kings rallies across the country. Who gives a crap? Who cares? What's it going to change? Is it going to change anything? Is all of a sudden Trump is going to go, oh my God, yes, I'm trying to be a king. I'm trying to be a dictator. I'm going to give up and not do it. He's not. But of course, they have to vilify him, right? So got to make him look bad as much as they can and get as many of the people behind that as they can. I'm going to make an assumption here, okay, and we'll just see if I'm right or wrong on this. Now, I guess maybe it'll depend on who you listen to, right? If you listen to a certain kind of news station, I'm sure that they're going to say record turnouts, thousands and millions of people. And maybe the other side says, oh, very poor turnout. Find out for yourself. Is it a huge crowd? Is it not a huge crowd? You know? Um, but at the end of the day, is it going to make any difference? No, because things are still going to go the way they're going to go. But so you got that going on, and there's talk of, well, they're waiting after this weekend when they do these no Kings rally, the second one, because the first one was so successful. um I hope you catch my sarcasm on that one. But so you got those going on, and then, like I said, so you got the government shutdown, and there's talk of, well, they're going to wait till after that no Kings rally, and then they'll reopen the government. The Democrats will, who knows? Hey, Rick Carey, thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. So, yeah, the guy doesn't want to be a king. He don't want to be in there forever. I mean, he's old now. By the time he gets out of office, he's going to be that much older. I actually had said to somebody, I'll be glad when Trump's term is done, because then people can shut up about Trump after that, because he can go ahead and retire and do his thing. Look at the alternative, folks. Look at the alternative. If we didn't have Trump as our president, we would have had a non-elected, we would have had the selected candidate, Kamala Harris. I honestly felt that would have been a nightmare. Okay. So, it's just, it is amazing to me that people could look at her and go, oh yeah, she's the one that I want to run the country. All hail the king of the U.S., RC Kev said. Oh my God, that's funny. Thank you very much again for the statement, RC Kevin. Thank you very much for the donation as well. I appreciate that. So, but, it's just, the distractions are all over the place. They're all over the place. And they're to keep you not focused on what's really going on. Things are not getting better. The economy, no matter what they tell you, right? If you look at it realistically, you look at the signs, right? Look at the different signs that are going on. All indications with the signs is the US dollar is being devalued because gold's going up, silver's going up, the cost of living for everything that you're trying to do in your life, that's going up. There's a rumor that Trump wants a third term. I doubt that. I mean, that's, of course, that would be certain side, trying to scare people. That's all they got. That's all they have is fear tactics. What happened? Okay, let me ask you this here. Here we are. We're 8 months into Trump's term now, right? 8 months, is it? Whatever it is, 8-9 months into his new term of president. Why haven't all the homosexuals been rounded up and put in concentration camps? Didn't you hear that fear-mongering one, right? Oh, life is going to be so bad for gay people and the, people that are having their things. It's ridiculous, folks. Okay, it's all fear-mongering. It's all it is. It's fear-mongering. The gays are going on and living their lives. They're doing what they do, and nobody's putting them in jail. So, it's just, it's all, again, it's all nonsense. It's all, like I said, so many fear factoring things that they're doing constantly to get you stirred up, to get you emotional. Geez, let's think of an event that just happened recently that was based on emotion, if it is the way that they say it went down. I have questions about that one as well. Charlie Kirk, right, was assassinated, supposedly by some guy that was up on a roof. That why would they be even watching the rooftops, right? Isn't that interesting? Think about this. You're having a rally and a guy that got constant death threats. But we're not going to go and look on the rooftops. We're not going to deploy any drones to see if somebody's laying in a prone position for a half an hour, deciding at that point that he's going to shoot the man, right? We're not going to watch out for that. No, why would we, right? If that's the way it happened. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. But when you hear certain things that don't make sense, they don't make sense. That's all I'm saying. But and then I love how the left spins it. So first, right? Oh, and this is when I thought was hilarious when they, oh, he was a right, he was a mega. That's who the one. That's who the assassination was. He was a mega guy. Why would a mega guy shoot Charlie Kirk? A mega wouldn't shoot Charlie Kirk. They loved Charlie Kirk. Okay, so so there was that first thing which got debunked, and then all of a sudden, then the thing is, here's a poor young man that was involved in a relationship with a transgendered person, and they were like, oh my God, this, and he did it because of love in his heart for this other person, and no, he did it because he was a lunatic, folks. If he did it, I'm not saying he did, I'm not saying he didn't, but if he did it because he was a lunatic. Rational people, right? Rational people, no matter how much propaganda is thrown at them, don't decide, hey, I don't like that person, so I'm going to kill them. That's not a rational thought. There's people that I don't care for, right? Do I want them dead? Do I want them to be murdered? I do not, right? I just want them to go away. That's all. Go away. Leave me alone, In life, I mean, how many times in life have we worked with a coworker, right? That you just couldn't stand that person for whatever reason. It happens. Oh, we got to do egg count, guys. I'm like rambling away here. I just looked at the time and it got away from me here a little bit. All right, so we're going to go ahead and so again, real quick, if you haven't shot that thumbs up, let's get that rocked out there, guys. Again, it really does help with the algorithms. And also, again, please, if you're not subscribed, I'm asking you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right. How many eggs today? Yes or no for Miss Betty White? And how many of the Easter eggers laid? So total number, yes or no, and then the Easter eggers. So give you guys a moment to get your guesses up, and we will go from there. Big moving day for the chickens, too, so a lot of upheaval, just saying. Give you guys just a moment to get your guesses in, and then I will let you know where we were at. So anyway, like I said, again, today was the whole rearranging everything in a chicken run, getting the old run up and out. It's out of there. And I think you'll see all that tomorrow in tomorrow's videos, because I did 2 of those videos, so you'll see tomorrow. And I was sitting there going, I bet they don't lay well today because we pulled that out, moved their chicken coop, that got moved, and we were in there for hours working on stuff. But the chickens surprised me. If you had the same exact guess as Malachi's Corner or Kim, with 10 eggs today, yes for Miss Betty White, and 2 of the Easter eggers did lay. So Kim got all of that right. So congratulations to Malachi's Corner or Kim. You are correct. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. And I'll tell you, honestly, guys, I was shocked they laid 10 eggs today. Very shocked. Because usually if there's any kind of upheaval in their routine, it throws them off. And they were like, oh, cool. Well, let's lay more eggs. So I was very happy today. I was like, oh, awesome. So yeah, they did really good. So, and they handled the transfer fantastically. So that worked out really well also. Yep, they did good. So anyway, again, things are not looking good. And if all of a sudden we do, and I'm hoping I'm wrong and we don't. I really am. But it's looking more and more like we're going to be going after Venezuela. They're already watch the news, guys. Watch the news. They're justifying, you know, oh, we're blowing up drug boats, right? Oh, yes, let's blow up the drug boats. Well, here's an idea. You know where all these cartels are in Mexico, right? They got to have intelligence on that. Why aren't we going down there and blowing them out of the water? Why not, right? But yet we're going to go and supposedly, allegedly, blow up drug boats in the ocean because they're the bad guys. And we can do it because we're the heroes. We're America. We can do anything. As long as we tell you that we're the hero, it's okay. And most of the people will fall in line and go, yes, absolutely, fantastic. Go ahead, do what you got to do. Right? Yeah, and actually the CIA is active there right now. Not that the CIA has ever been behind any overthrows of any governments, right? So, not that they've ever done that type of thing before. Not that they've stirred up the local populace and helped guerrilla factions get started. No, we would never do that. It's insanity. It's insanity. But again, you know, if that were the case and we got involved in something down there, a regime change, and if we got actively involved in that, that's just not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. And the thing is, while we would be, let's think about this. If I was another larger country, let's go with China, right? And if we are committed to dealing with what we consider to be a problem with Venezuela, and we're all distracted over here, paying attention to this situation over here, taking care of Venezuela because we're the heroes and the good guys, would that not be an opportune time for China to go in and take a country that they say is theirs anyway? I'm just saying, right? Think about it. Let's make some headway in the South China Sea. Got to pay attention to everything. Everything is partly something else. So, I like I said, I watch it all. I have my opinions. I'm giving you my opinions. It's just that the devaluing of the dollar needs to be something that people are concerned about, that they need to be paying attention to. As you see again, gold and silver prices just astronomically going up. There's a reason that that's happening, not because things are fantastic. That's not why silver and gold go up in price like they're going up in price. It's not because everything is wonderful. It's because things are not wonderful. And, think about, like, just say, going to the grocery store, you know, um, it's insane how much things cost. It's just, I mean, $100 don't get you squat anymore. Not really, you know. Um, I try to basically, if I go to the grocery store, I'm getting the basic stuff that I need. I have a lot of other stuff that I can mix and match with, which is fine. But it's just it's kind of scary. I'm of the opinion that for all the years they warned us about the debt, I think the day is finally coming. Like they're not going to just come out and tell us we're bankrupt because that would cause chaos. Yeah, it sure would. Well, again, um, you know, how is it that we're able to help everybody else, but we are in debt up to our eyeballs? That doesn't make any kind of sense. You know, they want to usher in, right, a digital currency. All these countries want to do that because they can control you if they have a digital currency. Again, you got to pay attention. The digital ID. And then basically, like, look at China. What China does. Okay. And I'm not trying to pick on China. I'm just using China as a great example. They have a social credit score. That's what China does. Okay. And if you are somebody that, if you are somebody that they deem a problem, your social credit score goes down. And then they can restrict your travel. Oh, you can't travel. You don't have a good social credit score because you're against this or against that, or you're not on board with Team China. Okay. And that's what they do, and it's just, it's craziness. The whole thing is craziness. So, but I don't know. Like I said, folks, I think we need to really be smart about what we're doing, uh, and not play these games, and just take care of your business. Don't be distracted, because again, even small amounts, if you do something small that helps yourself, it puts you in a better situation. You know, again, the number one killer in a true SHTF situation, and I've said this before, the number one killer is going to be dysentery, because people are going to drink tainted water, they're going to get sick, and they're going to have diarrhea, and they're going to crap themselves to death. That's how they're going to die. Not by somebody shooting them, not by disease, not by sickness. Well, that's sickness, right? That's, sort of a disease, right? But they're not going to die from the normal things. They're going to die because of stupidity. So the number one thing anybody should be doing is making sure you have alternate ways to purify water. That should be your number one concern, because without being able to have good water, you're going to be dead in 3 days if you don't have water. But I mean, if you're drinking tainted water, it's going to still take you out. So, just because it's clear and it looks okay doesn't mean that it is. And if you don't have a way to do that, and again, think about the people that don't out there. The number of people that have absolutely zero idea of what they should be doing. No idea. It's frightening. It is frightening. Now, it could put us in a situation to be teachers, to be able to help people, to put them, in a better situation. Great. That, I think, and that would be great if we do that. But people are going to lose their minds, folks, and it's going to be the haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots are going to outnumber the haves exponentially, and they're going to want what you have because that's not fair. Think about that, right? That's the mindset. Well, you have all this stuff and you're not sharing that. That's not fair. They don't talk about the fact that you sacrificed and you put away and you didn't go on these luxurious vacations and buy the big Escalade and all that kind of stuff, or have the big house, or whatever the case may be. They don't care about that. So yeah, the rich aren't building bunkers for nothing. Exactly. The rich aren't stocking those bunkers for nothing. They're going to be underground, away from the public, and they'll be locked up so you can't get at them. All right. That's what they're going to do. And they're in places that you have no idea. You won't ever know that they're there, because it's going to be off the beaten path, and they're going to do their thing. And they'll just sit back and they'll watch the rest of us kill each other over scraps. That's what'll happen. But we're in big trouble. We are in big, big trouble. And I just, people need to pay attention. You just need to pay attention. And I hope I'm wrong, right? I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not. I know I'm not, so anyway, just keep doing what you can, folks. Keep doing what you can. Get as ready as you can be, because when that other shoe does drop, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be real ugly, and people are not going to be kind to each other. They're not. They're not going to be. There's a very thin veil between a civilized society and chaos. Very, very thin veil. And that's what we got to pay attention to. All right. So anyway, guys, I am going to leave you with my favorite saying, STD, step, thing, and day. one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. If you set realistic goals and then you set about to making them happen, if you work at it methodically, it will happen. That freaking chicken run took forever and it sucked and it was not fun, okay? But it's done now. So I'm happy because I can go on to something else. There's always another project, there's always something else that has to be done, and that's okay. But we're trying to put ourselves here in a situation to be in a much better situation. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what we're going to continue to try to do. And I want you all to do the same thing. Okay. Work at things methodically. Don't give up. The only one that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is going to be you. That's it. Nobody else. Stay safe, everybody. Please be safe. Keep prepping. Look out for your families. I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse One out for now.